Why is it so difficult to tell someone I love exactly how I feel about them? I actually made up this question. The question was something like, it was a long email. I really like this person. I think I'm in love with her, but I cannot approach her and tell her. So I had to come up with a smaller question for the title, and I made it up like this. It did not come exactly like this. Okay, the person who sent me this question obviously has not listened to many of my videos, because if he had, he would not be asking me something like this. I mean me. There's nothing wrong with the question. The funny thing is who he's asking. But it's okay, we are all God's children, so let's see what we can do with this one. Okay, why is it so difficult to tell someone I love exactly how I feel about them? The biggest reason you cannot approach a girl and tell her how you feel is because of the fear of rejection. And the fear of rejection is so big, we would rather not tell someone how we feel, and we miss out on what might come. Many times nothing comes out of it. But you know what? Sometimes it does, and you do have a good time. However, I would advise you approach it differently. Take the word love out of it, because love is simply a glamorized word for need. And this is what shows when you approach a girl and you confess your love. It just shows your need. So take that word out of it. Another way of thinking you can take out of your mind. Mind you, it will help. Don't do anything I say. I'm only giving you some pointers. It will help to let go of the situation that comes with what you call love, or with telling someone you really, really like them. Because after we tell someone this, we stop being ourselves, we stop being natural, and we start playing a game that God knows who came up with it. A game of, now we are together, now we are dating, now you have to behave this way, and I will behave this way. You need to take that out of the equation. And don't mention things like relationships at all. Simply spend time with her without even putting a title on it. You see, titles, let me rephrase it. We need titles for things that are not real. That's when we need a title. When we are trying to force a situation that is unnatural, this is when we put a title to a person or an event or a situation. And all this, we are in a relationship, or we are dating, or we are an item. These are all words we use to force something. So avoid those words. Don't try and make it a situation. Simply be with this girl. That's all. Without saying, hey, look, I like you. I really, really like you. Simply go up and say, hey, let's do lunch. And that's it. Or let's take a walk. See, most of the times we go into the, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you how I feel. We go into this bullshit simply because we have nothing else to say. We have nothing else to say at all. So focus on finding something to talk about. If you have something in common. If you have nothing in common, it's just your dick talking here, not your head. It's evolution. You need to seed. She's pretty. And that part of you is what is doing the talking, or actually the thinking, unfortunately. So this is another reason why you cannot tell her how you feel. You actually don't feel anything, to be honest. You have convinced yourself you feel something. This is evolution. That's all. Men and women need to get together for the survival of the species. Yes, the species has survived, but only recently. And our bodies are hundreds of thousands of years old. Our physical body, the nature. Nature is hundreds of thousands of years old, and we have only recently survived. So the body cannot be reprogrammed in 1 or 2 generations. It will take many generations for it to let go of the need to seed. I'm talking about the male body here. So it's this need to seed that makes you feel like, oh, I'm in love. No, you're not. But you will use that word because you have also been taught in the hundreds of thousands of years that women need to hear this word in order to have sex. I'm going to use a line from a show. It's an old show, not very well done. However, the first episode of the show was quite good. After that, like most shows, it went to hell. There was this 18-year-old or 19-year-old kid that had sex with a 35-year-old man. Both were men. Of course, the 18-year-old fell in love. The 35-year-old was going about his life. For him, it was just another sexual encounter. The 19-year-old was after him all the time. Towards the end of the episode, the 35-year-old says to the 19-year-old, "Look, we had sex. It was good. Now let's move on." And the 19-year-old says, "But I love you." And the 35-year-old replies with, "Love is a word straight people use so they can get sex. We don't need this word." So this is another reason why you think you are in love with her. You need this word, and you convince yourself because you can't just go up to her and say, "Listen, I would like to have sex with you." So you come up with all these stories, you go into this emotional vortex, and you think you are suffering. And you call this suffering. I'm suffering because I cannot tell her how I feel about her. No. You're suffering because you are simply in denial of nature. That's all. This is the only reason you are suffering. If you accept nature for what it is, you will never suffer again. So, because you are young, I would say focus on simply spending time with the girl. That's all. Do not put any labels on it. Labels ruin everything. Simply spend time. If you like someone, she does not have to be just yours. And she does not have to be only with you. And she does not have to be with you all the time, just because you like her. This makes no sense. Think about it for a minute. Come out of your drama and think about it. What gives me the right to demand someone is only with me because I like them? Where did that notion come from? And then you will stop playing these silly games. They're not just silly, they are actually retarded. And you will be with someone. Being with someone is a magical experience. I'm going to quote Oscar Wilde. I'm simply going to change one word. Oscar Wilde said, "People ruin every relationship by trying to make it last forever. There is so much wisdom in this phrase, but we still have not understood it, or we do not want to understand it, because we like drama. It makes us feel alive, and it makes us look stupid. So stop trying to make it official. Stop trying to make it a relationship and go and spend time with this woman. There's no need to tell her how you feel about her. Because trust me, let's assume for a moment that some other beautiful girl came and sat on your lap and said, let's go to my house. You would forget this woman in less than 3 seconds. So it's not about this woman. It is about your hormones. Just like you have male friends and you like spending time with them, do the same thing with a female friend or simply a girl you like. Go and spend time with her. This is all you need. The rest, I'm sorry to say, but the rest is bullshit. I'm going to close it with, go and spend time with her. I will leave it at this.